Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm Byron Brown, Mayor of Buffalo, and I am very pleased to thank all of you for joining us today. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome all of you to Buffalo, not just as the city's mayor, but as someone who is tremendously proud of the economic turnaround that's taking place here in the Queen City. For years, Buffalo had been a city that was struggling to recover from economic decline, and not just from the recession of 2008. Like so much of upstate New York, Buffalo was a city that had experienced hard times for decades. But today, through collaborations with each other, unlike anything that we have ever done before, and working with Governor Andrew Cuomo and Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, the governor's Buffalo Billion, and a coordinated approach to economic development, we've started a new chapter, and we're experiencing a resurgence that has many people calling us a model of urban revitalization. It hasn't been easy, but working alongside Governor Cuomo and his administration, as well as our partners in the local business, labor, and faith communities, we have turned the page. Since 2012, there is $5.5 billion in development underway in Buffalo, with projects like Solar City, new investments in the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, new investment in Buffalo's Inner and Outer Harbor, the IBM Innovation Center, and many more. Today, as you get a chance to see some of that transformation in action, I encourage you to dream big. The scope of Buffalo's turnaround would have been hard for many to imagine just a few years ago, and yet, here we are today. We are happy to have you here with us, and we hope you will take every opportunity to experience all that Buffalo has to offer. And please, while you're here, also support the local economy. Again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to join us in Buffalo.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Buffalo. Welcome to Western New York. Before we start our program, and we're so delighted that each of you traveled here today, there's someone who's not here today, and I also want to let you know that we want to give a moment of silence and prayer to help the speedy recovery of the governor's partner, his life partner, Sandra Lee, who's fighting a valiant struggle. We know she'll be successful. There's a few setbacks, but our hearts are with her today, and our governor is taking good care of her. So I just want to mention that, and please keep her in your thoughts as we go on today. It is fantastic that you made the journey here today. I can't account for the weather yesterday. I can't handle everything, but I want to tell you, it has been such an honor to serve as Governor Cuomo's lieutenant governor. And the best part of my job is the fact that I've been able to travel to each and every one of your regions, not once, not twice, but as my husband will say, I'm rarely in Buffalo. I'm all over the place visiting your regions. And what that does is it gives me a sense of optimism about where the entire state can go, built on what we did here in Buffalo. Because as our county executive mentioned, he grew up in Lackawanna. I was born in the shadow of that Bethlehem steel plant where my father and grandfather worked. And when that industry left, we never had a plan B in Buffalo. We didn't know how to reinvent ourselves. And I've seen that all across the state. When a major industry leaves, whether it's central New York, whether it's the Finger Lakes region, whether it's the Mohawk area, whether it's Mid-Hudson, whether it's the North Country, Southern Tier, it sends shockwaves through a community. We know that we felt that. So we are hopeful that the lessons we can learn here today, that you'll be able to apply to your regions. And that's what this is all about. This is not bring you to Buffalo and show off that, hey, we've got this. This is to say this was done in a relatively quick time. I mean, you have to believe that this area, I'd say 5 years ago, 4 years ago, people had given up hope. That is a statement of fact. And I was absolutely struck today when I was reading my Buffalo Business First, and I saw this poll. And it said, are you optimistic or pessimistic about downtown Buffalo? Jim Fink, if this was given probably 5 years ago, I think the numbers would be pessimistic, 88%, positive, 12%. Today, it is optimistic, 88% of people in Buffalo feel optimistic about their community, 12% negative. And I'm not even sure who these 12% are. They're missing the boat. So that is a sea change. That is a sea change in attitude about a community like Western New York, which again had given up hope on itself. And it's because of many reasons. And I do believe that leadership matters, and there's no better example of that than having a leader like Governor Cuomo, who believes in an area that had given up belief in itself. When he was elected 4.5 years ago, he says, I'm going to take the toughest hit area of the state, the area with the highest unemployment, high childhood poverty, businesses are fleeing, no one can go there. And in fact, from 1990 to 2006, we lost 28% of our young people. That's my generation. My siblings all left. And I am so thrilled that from 2006 to currently, the most recent numbers we have, the young people, ages 20 to 34, they're coming back. They're coming back, and we've had a 10% increase in that age group. That is, you can't argue with that. That is the most positive indicator I've seen to reverse that trend. We lost almost a third of our young people to now a 10% increase. It happens because the governor believed in us. It happened because of partners. It happened because of partners as well, like our mayor, Byron Brown. You've been at our side since the very beginning, and you have executed on the ground beautifully. You've helped shape this vision, but also your team in City Hall has been there every inch of the way, and we thank you for that on behalf of the governor. And Mark Polenkars, what a tremendous ally you have been in Erie County, representing this area with all your heart and soul. And it's not just the Buffalo billion, I assure you. It has been the region's billion. And I was just at ribbon cuttings in Niagara Falls, who are benefiting from the Buffalo billion. So it really was, I know you wanted the whole thing, but you've been very generous, Mayor, that you've allowed this to be, it just sounded more alliterative, Buffalo billion, but it's been spent in a very thoughtful way. But it came out of a vision, and I want to say that there are people who've made a difference a few years ago when this climate was still really tough. People like Howard Zemsky, who I would have to say, and the governor would agree, is the architect of the Buffalo billion. He and his team, as co-chair of the Regional Economic Development Council here in Western New York, working at the time with Satish Tripathi, the president of UB, people like Christina Orsi, I mean, they put their heart and soul into this. The entire local team, led by Sam Hoyt and Regional Economic Development Council, they, in my mind, deserve the credit for allowing the ideas that we came up with in Albany, that we'd give the power to the locals. They rose to the occasion, and I want to give every one of them a round of applause right now and thank them for their efforts. Today, we are going to be taking a bus tour, and I hope the rain holds off. We are going to be going to Buffalo Manufacturing Works. We're going to the Buffalo Niagara Medical Center's Jacobs Neurological Institute, going down to Riverbend, and I just took a boat tour around Riverbend, and I will tell you, even 2 years ago, not a person in their right mind would have taken a boat tour down this river. It was polluted, it was ugly, there was nothing to see, and now the little tour boat has to avoid all the kayakers and the people on water bikes and the people on those paddle boards, because it's so congested on there, because people are celebrating their waterfront. And that's a very exciting change, a sea change of what I've seen personally. So we want you to take advantage of the opportunity to network with each other, share ideas. This afternoon we're going to hear presentations as each of you are developing your own assets. And I think that's what's important about the Regional Economic Development Council process. There is no one-size-fits-all for the state of New York. That is the dramatic change that the governor introduced. Albany does not have the answers. The localities do, the people in their own communities who live and breathe what they want to see for their future. And that's why it is so fascinating for me to have this 10,000-foot view of the state, to be able to go to each of your regions, and again this afternoon to hear what you want to do, what you want to capitalize on to make sure your region has a chance to achieve its full potential. So we are excited that you're here. We're excited about the conversation, and please take advantage. Use everybody from the local team here as a resource. Ask a lot of questions. I'm happy to help. Howard Zemsky's right here. He'll be happy to answer questions. So I want to say welcome, and I will at this time introduce a video which is going to get you real excited about Buffalo.